This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of December 26th, 2022. We're riding out the end of the year in an extremely contemplative atmosphere. And the subject of the contemplation, no matter what your circumstances are, involves a huge streak of your physical conditions, your infrastructure, your physical environment, your security. What do you have? What do you want? What do you value? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? These thoughts have a really noticeable story arc from the beginning of the week to the very first day of January. The story begins with nudges to act in a way that is responsible to you, to commit to something that you really, really value for the long term, to take responsibility for it, even if it means shouldering some burdens that maybe you've been wanting to dodge. But the more you dodge, the more an uncomfortable little nagging is going to tap an insistent finger on the table, inviting you to just suit up and act like an adult. And as above, so below reminder is on offer on the 28th when the two guardians of love and inspiration, Venus and Neptune, make the opportunity aspect of a sextile. This sweetens and softens this whole business of adulting and taking responsibility for yourself. It makes it possible to bring higher spiritual, loving, even magical considerations into whatever you're pondering down here on planet Earth. You could get a sense of or a taste of the bigger reason for what you're doing that makes it all worthwhile. Perhaps your own It's a Wonderful Life moment. You could get ideas from watching movies, listening to music, and you might just feel better about everything that's going on and what you want to build in your life. Whether you take those opportunities or not, the next day on the 29th, a moment of solidity comes in, of knowing, of confidence, of an alignment between what you're thinking and what your heart is wanting. This comes from a conjunction between Mercury and Venus, just as Mercury stations for his final retrograde of the year. A couple of things flow from that. First off, it's not a fleeting moment because as Mercury travels backward through Capricorn, you will be getting opportunities into the middle of January to explore, get more information about, revisit, rework some of the foundational elements involved in these desires and goals. Second, this is very likely going to grease, precipitate really meaningful conversations in important relationships, putting some structure on them, shoring up the foundations of them, adding an element of commitment to them. And because Mercury is stationing retrograde, there is a stillness built into this conjunction, a natural and organic slowness and deliberateness in playing out, and an inherent stability to the fusion of mind and heart that we will all be experiencing. Mercury goes retrograde on the 29th at 24 degrees Capricorn and will go back to 8 degrees Capricorn January 18. And this happens with Mars already retrograde in the sign that Mercury rules, Gemini. So starting with the 29th and possibly a few days before, all of the interplanet retrograde characteristics are going to be emphasized, amplified, multiplied. And this goes for the sensation that we're suspended in time or that events are playing out in slow-mo. Give yourself slack. Know that this is happening for everybody. Inner work and personal work are probably going to be much more important and prevalent than wrapping anything up for the end of the year. So give yourself slack and just know it's appropriate to pay attention to your own business and take your time with it. The year ends in intensity, but also stillness, with a conjunction of the two planets of desire and money, Venus and Pluto, on December 31st, and it will still basically be in effect January 1st. The bridge between years has us completely immersed in the issue of what we really want. There's something here involving conscious desires meeting up with unconscious or subconscious desires, a fusion of them, probably a cutting back, stripping away, dropping some in favor of the ones that every cell in our being is pulling in. This is the landing point for the week's story arc. Look at it as the dichotomy between what you want, what you think you want, what you say you want, and what you allow yourself to have. Staying in a position of wanting is sometimes easier, it's certainly less messy than actually having it. And sometimes, if you're really honest with yourself, which is what Venus meeting Mercury and then Pluto is requiring of you, sometimes if you're really honest with yourself, you will find that you just want to want something, you don't really want to have it. If that concept is confusing, this week may show you the difference and deliver you to a place of realization of what you want so deeply that you will actually allow yourself to have it. This doesn't bode well for a New Year's weekend with a lot of holiday parties and running around and being with a whole bunch of people. What it does portend is very selective experiences with deep meaning, and possibly clearing your heart of some clutter to allow for new growth in 2023. And speaking of which, I want to thank all of you for listening to and responding to and sharing my podcasts and other forecasts. I wish you great and magical understanding of what is most important to you in your life, and may 2023 open doors for you to realize more and more of that. Homing thought of the week: what is my priority? Song of the week: hey, it's still the season, Santa Baby, and the version that is optimal for this particular week is sung by Capricorn Eartha Kitt. And the image of the week is an inventory of assets. And hey, if you'd like some pointers for writing your own path in 2023, Donna Woodwell and I are leading a workshop to do just that. Wednesday, January 4th, 3 to 5 Eastern. Look for links in the comments. You'll also find more information in my 2023 Mercury retrograde guide at Ohm Times and forecast for the month of January. That forecast will be up on Monday, December 26th at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Ohm Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, where you can ask me an astrologically based question of your choice every single month. And I'm deeply grateful to the people who support my work there. I am on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week. Talk to you next year.